Hello, Taurus. Welcome to your weekly reading for March 8th. Oh, I'm sorry, March 9th through the 15th. So, Taurus, here's the thing. I'm going to spend a little time talking before we get into the cards here. And I'm sure that the energy is going to shift a little here, but I will tell you, I'm not as peppy as I normally am in the beginning of this reading because before I asked Spirit to come in, I felt very emotional, guys, like super emotional, like instantly almost wanted to start crying, just like that. And I thought, ooh, what is this about, right? Because I will normally take on the energy of my Taurus before I start having the cards come out, right? Or any other sign for that matter. And I was like, ooh, what's going on here? So this is definitely going to be a reading about releasing something. And I already know what it is, and we'll get into it with cards. This is not sad energy. This is not bad energy. This is not anything like that, but it's very powerful, okay? And I'm going to tell you guys, a lot of you know that my sun sign is a Taurus, and I definitely connect with my Taurus clan, right? I had a hard week this week, okay? I just was not in tune the way I normally am. Things just felt out of focus. I even did try to put a couple readings out there, and it just wasn't working. It just wasn't working, and I thought, what is going on here, right? Because I have such a strong connection with spirit, so I had to give myself some time, some space. And what I realized, what was happening from my meditations and whatnot, is that I'm receiving quite a lot of downloads, new information from my guides, ancestors, and angels. So my physical body needed time to process this shift in this energy. And it's very good. It's just a little, well, it's a little exhausting sometimes. And it feels like, it will throw me off. And it did. And that's okay, because that's the process and that's a good thing. However, what I decided to do yesterday is I decided, very beautiful spring day, nice weather. I tend to keep my windows open as much as humanly possible, right? And I finally was able to really open the windows up, air out the house, sage my space, smudge my space, a really good cleansing. And I felt really, really good after that, right? I just had a day for me. It was Shannon day, okay? It was just calm, peaceful, right? Just, I can't explain it anything better. I don't even know what I actually did. I guess I did some cleaning and whatnot, but I really sat in a lot of space. I did a lot of meditation, and it was really, really good. But I will tell you, I released something as I was processing this new information. And as I had the door open. I had the door open, no screen, no anything, just had the door open. And I kid you not, a bird flew right into my home and flew around a little chaotically, never truly landed anywhere, kind of flew around me a few times. Smaller, don't know the type of bird, but very smaller type of bird, very nice. I felt very much a sweetness about it, and it flew right back out the door. And I was like, well, that's a sign, right? And it was a sign, for me, that's a sign that spirit is all over the house. And spirit is always in my house, okay? Wherever I am, spirit is always with me. It's not always just my guides, angels, and ancestors. It's always, I try to explain to people, it's like because of what I do, spirit is drawn to me, right? It's like I'm the lighthouse. They're like, oh, here's somebody that can give messages, and I need to get these messages out. This time it was quite different, though. I felt the whole collective consciousness was with me and saying, hey, it's okay. We're upgrading you, right? We're upgrading you to give more messages. So just take today and be patient, right? And it was very nice. And it was wonderful. However, it made me realize I had to release some very old pieces of myself that maybe are not the best for me anymore at this point in my journey. And it was a little hard, right? It's hard because you feel like it's a part of who you are, but really it's not the part of who I am anymore. And I never truly released those aspects, okay? And the reason I'm telling you guys this is because I love you so much, is that that's what you're about to go through. If you're feeling a little emotional right now, guys, a little heartache, it's because you're about to release something about yourself, like it's an old friend that has to go, okay? Like how you identify with yourself. And it's not a bad thing. It's kind of one of those things like, it's like the part of you that kind of question yourself, am I good enough? And even though you know, and we've talked about how you are good enough, you are deserving and whatnot, you kind of creep back into that space because it's that old friend, right? It's that old friend of comfort. Well, it's time to say goodbye. And I'm really getting very emotional. Like I'm about to cry, guys. Because it's hard and because it's also beautiful at the same time. Okay, so this is a very powerful week for you, Taurus. It's very powerful. And it's going to bring in such good things. So I would highly recommend just taking a little time, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and just kind of sitting with that energy and giving that old part of you, right, a nice hug. But it's time for them to move on, right? I hope that makes sense to you. It makes complete sense to me. So let's get into the actual cards, okay? And I'm not surprised that this came out, and I have the chills already, and I'm trying not to get too emotional, guys. All right? You have Cygnus. This card is all about that release. It's a big, deep release. It's part of you dying away, right? And it's okay because that part has to go. That part has to move on. And the symbolism in this card is so beautiful because the swans here, the swans are beautiful animals, right? However, it is said that they only sing, and this is so powerful, they only sing once in their life, and they sing right before they die. Hence the term swan song. That part of you, right? That part of you that was there, that was a good friend, that protected you, or you felt protected you, or it was just the space of going back to it because it was comfortable, even though it wasn't necessarily good for you as far as, like I was saying, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. I'm really not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not this. I'm not that. That old friend, it's time for that friend to go on. It's time for that friend to, to leave. And that's hard to let go of some of the comforts that we have in that. So for instance, let's bring it more into a 3D kind of practical sense. It's like smoking, right? You know it's bad for you. You don't want to do it. Yet there's some comfort into it. You keep going back to it. That's why people quit and restart and quit and restart. There's a comfort there, right? But when they finally release it, they release it for good. And hence the swan song, okay? So there is an aspect of you that's holding you back, that has been holding you back, and you've been fighting it. You're Taurus, you're fighting it. And this is on a deep level, guys. This isn't just one small thing. This is like your whole life, your soul. And it's a part of the ego, I want to say, that has been holding you back. And now you're releasing that this week in some big, big ways. Very powerful, guys. Very powerful. All right, look. Tarot. Absolutely. 5 of Cups. You're moving on from that space. You are saying goodbye for good. And it's going to be beautiful. The end result is going to be beautiful. It's going to give you so much more expansion, so much more possibilities, Taurus. So you are moving on. We have confirmation here. It brings you back into, full balance with the Temperance card, right? Brings you back into alignment. It really does. It just is. It's going to be freeing, guys. It's going to be freeing. It brings you back into a place of harmony. Then you have the Mother of Swords. No doubt, this is like you cutting away from it. It's you cutting the cord from this aspect of you that is just no longer serving you. And it's saying goodbye to that quote-unquote friend of comfort, of a space of comfort, right? Just because it's a space of comfort doesn't mean it's good or good for us, right? And it's like you're slicing the cord and you're peaceful about it and you're like, thank you. I've appreciated you being here. However, it's time for me to move on, right? Big growth. And this opens you up this week for so much clarity. Look, because the divine comes in, hands you the Ace of Swords, which is this breakthrough moment, this clarity of, yes, that aspect of my ego has to move on, has to go now. It's such a spiritual thing. It's such a freeing thing of the mind. I mean, this is really big, guys. I cannot tell you. And a lot of you are going to know exactly what I'm talking about. Maybe you've been emotional. You're like, I don't understand. I'm pushing forward. But things feel chaotic. It's because you got to say goodbye, okay, to that, excuse me, last piece that holds you back sometimes. Now, here's the great thing. It opens you up for that 10 of Cups energy, right? It opens you up for that happiness, that blissful relationship. And I really feel, guys, this is this relationship with yourself. Okay, this is really important that we have this harmony within ourselves, this knowing we are good enough and being blissful and living in our joy. I will tell you, I wasn't always like this at all. Of course not, right? I had to go through my own life lessons and still will, but I am not even close to the same person I was 20 years ago, right? Not even close. And I feel like I have been letting go of that last little bit of who that person was 20 years ago. And it's hard to let go, but look at the joy and the bliss that's coming in. And I can already feel my heart expanding now. I can already feel, okay, the grief passing, right? Like I'm starting to feel that energy right now. 5 of Swords, that inner conflict, right? That inner conflict being released. The no more am I good enough, I am good enough, right? Like the final push is how I feel, because I keep talking about how 2020 is such a big year for Taurus. This is like that. We did the outside work. We've done some inside work. This is ego work now. We're letting it go, right? Love it. Love it. Mother of Cups. Yep, there's the goosebumps, guys. Here comes the intuition. Here comes the really big connection. Some of you, because this is a general reading, are really going to start feeling spirit around you physically, a little bit more physically. Like, I know my guides are here. I know my angels are here. This is going in the flow with the universe. You're really understanding, hey, I've been watching. Not just Shannon, not just Lotus Spirit, right? But I've been watching. I'm starting to understand. I understand how this manifesting works. I understand how this is happening. I'm trusting my intuition. I'm going within. Like, you're really opening up to all of that. And here it is. Boom. Big change in energy. Big push forward. Big ideas. I mean, super fast. I mean, that's as soon as you let that go, this beautiful surge of energy from this 8 of Wands comes in. I mean, look at it. It's like lightning, right? And that clarity that comes along with that. This is big change for you guys. And when we have big change spiritually within ourselves, it reflects in our outer world. So that's when the abundance can start coming in. The ideas can start coming in. The love can start really coming in. And it flows. It just flows, right? Because when we talk about the 2020 year, right, of stability this year and things are changing, remember that the new year for zodiac signs is actually just coming up, right? We start with Aries season. That's the zodiac year. So all these last few months, right? January, February, right? March, that's what we were cleaning up to get ready for the zodiac new year, okay? For it really to come into fruition. So I also love here that we have the Air Guardian. Shift your perception. Yeah, you are. Once you let this go, and I got the chills again. Spirit is just like, whew, right? Like, here we go. The big eye opening. You're really going to start seeing things completely differently than you had before, which starts with, part of our inner selves and letting go of that friend, right? That really was there for a purpose, but is no longer there anymore. It needs to go, right? We're releasing it and we're grieving that, and that's okay. But once you do, whew, okay, because like I said, I am physically, emotionally feeling better. I don't know if all of you know this. I don't really talk about that much. I just do what I do. But I'm an empath, okay? So Spirit talks to me through feelings, okay? And so right now I'm starting to feel that lightness coming back, right? This release, this almost, you know what I keep picturing? It's so funny. Oh, I wish I had it near me. In my divine deck, the ancients deck, there's an auger, and it looks like, all right, here we go. Spirit wants me to do it. And I'm sorry, but this is the closest thing I have to do it. But you know what? We're Taurus. We like to laugh. Okay, my peace frog. Literally my peace frog, right? But it's like a person, like you're the peace frog, guys, but you're levitating. That's what kind of space is coming in for you. That's really powerful, guys. And it's beautiful because that is an innate gift to be able to follow that intuition, to hear spirit, to feel spirit, to know that they are with you and that they are guiding you, and to trust your instincts and your gut. It's really, really big, guys. This is really big for a general reading too, but it is. It's the Taurus collective. Again, we're climbing that mountaintop, right? All right. You also have the let go card, right? Not surprised, right? Not surprised. Enjoy. Oh my goodness. I cannot talk today. I'm telling you, sometimes I can't. See? Just take a deep breath. Let me try that again. Let go. Enjoy the pulsing light of the firefly, but don't hold on too tight, right? You want to keep it. I know you want to keep that friend there, but you can't. You got to let him go, okay? It's time to get that last piece of that, I'll call it ego, that comfort place, comfort only because we know the feeling of that. It doesn't mean it's a good feeling. When we get into the feeling of I'm not good enough, that's not a good feeling. It's a comfortable feeling though, because it's something you know, and now you have to let it go. Very powerful. I hope all of you are getting what Spirit is trying to get me to say, okay? Sorry, Taurus. Listen, we're going to do the extended. If you'd like to hear more about this, the link for Patreon is in the description box. We're going to go further into this. Absolutely. I'm just shuffling my Legends deck because I'll tell you, the decks that Spirit had me choose for this week, it's very earthly and it's very fantasy is how I want to say it, because this deck that I'm shuffling is all about, it's got like dragons in there. It's very magical. So earthly and magical, which fits your guys' reading, amazingly, so let's pull a few to get started. All right. Yeah. Look at that. Of course, that makes perfect sense. Oh my goodness, guys. Big change, big change. I can feel it. I got the chills from head to toe right now while I'm having these cards come out, guys. I'm just amazed. I am amazed at what I am seeing. I'm not surprised, but I am amazed. That's too many. Can I have just one more, please, Spirit? Just one more for Taurus. Just one more for Taurus, please. Give me a second, guys. One more. Oh, my goodness. Yep, there we go. Yes. I am just not surprised at that at all, but I'm just excited about it, guys. There's going to be some bigger messages in the extended reading. Again, the link for that is in the description box, the Patreon channel. I can't wait to see you guys over there. All my love to you, Taurus.